So, welcome back to the channel. After a while, so this is probably the first episode of job hunting series after I moved to Canada. So I landed 2 months ago, and I'm finally getting into serious job hunting. So I thought I'll document the whole thing. So I had started job hunting when I was back in India in 2024. By the end of 2024. So I just got my job scan subscription and I am just going through. They have a 7-part video tutorial to see, how you can make the most out of job scan premium subscription, and you can basically optimize your LinkedIn profile. It's very useful. If you're, I mean, most of the Fortune 500 companies use ATS these days, but there were no positive responses. Mostly because most of the job applications will ask if you're residing in Canada. So I had to say no, and your job application won't possibly move forward. Then I took a break for just preparing to travel, packing, shopping, and after coming here we had to find a place to live, set up a space because it was unfurnished, and just get into a rhythm. Now I feel settled and ready to put my full focus on job hunting. Almost all the documentation processes are done. So now the top priority is getting a job. So the very first thing that I did was edit my resume. So I had done this while I was back in India. So after I got my COPR, I participated in a few pre-arrival services. One from Xavier's Toronto and the other is from Access Employment, and they were really helpful. So the pre-arrival services helped me a lot in understanding the job searching strategies and practices here. And if you take pre-arrival services, you'll get a lot of help and mentoring and a lot of resources. So it's really nice. So in Canada, ideally your resume shouldn't have a lot of graphics, which I had in my previous resumes. I had a little bit of graphics. My resume was super nice to look at, but when you apply for, most of the companies use ATS here. I mean, they do use ATS in India as well, but if you're handing out your resume to a recruiter in person, then a simple one-page resume with a little bit of graphics will work out. But if you're applying for jobs through company website, most companies will use an ATS system. No matter where you are, you have to customize your resume so the ATS system could read the contents easily. So ideally, you shouldn't have a lot of graphics and tables. Here, they prefer your resume. Most of the recruiters will prefer your resume in Word format. The resume should be super simple with relevant keywords, but don't keyword stuff. It should be a genuine attempt, but you have to customize your resumes for each job application you apply for. So for this, I use an application called JobScan. So this is when I get a job here, this will be my third organization. And so during my previous job hunting episodes, what worked for me is reaching out to people, upskilling based on the job descriptions, figure out companies that you want to work for, go through their job descriptions, and upskill based on your lack of hard skills, and connect with people, communicate, and that has previously worked for me. So that's what I'll be doing in the next few months. I'm planning to document as much as I can. So in terms of upskilling, my main sources right now, my main source is DataCamp. I have a few YouTube channels that I follow to, AI is moving. I mean, every single week there's something new happening in artificial intelligence. So I follow channels like Krishnaik. Fireship is a channel that I love on YouTube. Um, There are a few channels that I follow to stay up to date with what's happening in the industry. Also, in my previous experiences, when you apply for 100 job postings, you'll get like 10 callbacks. That's the ratio for me. So if you're a new graduate or a junior engineer or someone who works in tech and you're tired of applying for jobs, you have to apply for a lot of jobs to get a response. Also, there are a lot of applicants, so it's a bit difficult to stand out, and standing out is necessary. So I have my portfolio, data science portfolio, hosted on Bluehost. uh, I have to update it and add new projects to it, but I do have a portfolio. Then for networking, it's a bit difficult and a little overwhelming because this is a new country. I don't have any existing connections here, so I'm just starting from scratch, going to events through Meetup and Eventbrite. In the next 10 days, I have 2 events planned. There are a lot of ghost jobs in North America. I don't know if it's a North American thing, but I see jobs that are still posted from like 3-4 months ago. Those are probably ghost jobs. Ghost jobs are job postings that companies do just to show that they are in their growing phase, even if they are not. Um, they, sometimes they put out job postings for just collecting resumes without any intention to hire. So, like I said, if you have been seeing the same job with the same job ID posted on a platform for like 3-4 months, and when you check the company's page, there are no new hires. I have LinkedIn Premium, so I don't know if it's a premium feature, but they'll show you new hires if there are people who got hired recently. Then it could be a ghost job, but not always, because while I was in India, in 2022, I applied for this job, which was posted like 2 months ago, and I did got an interview call. Sometimes it's just that the manager is probably looking for a specific person with a specific skill set, and so in majority of cases it could be a ghost. So my plan is to like apply for 10 to 15 jobs a week, so that's like 2 to 3 jobs a day, and customize. I'm not gonna apply for everything that comes up. I'm just going to be really selective, and I will be strategically connecting people, like 10 to 20 people a week, who can refer me in the future. That's the plan. Also, I want to update my portfolio. It's do a project and possibly deploy it somewhere and keep a link on the portfolio. That's all. That's also a plan. That's all about the job searching experience. So, how has Canada been for me so far? Do I miss my home? Yes and no. I miss my parents, obviously, and my home, the food, and the people. We do have some family here, cousins, relatives, but they don't live in the city. They moved here like decades ago. We meet them when we have like a few days off. I don't really miss a place. Like I don't miss Kochi or Trivandrum, or I miss people, friends, hangouts. I missed celebrating Christmas with my family, the food. The thing is, I've been missing my home since I went to university, got married, started living with my spouse. So But the thing is, we we would visit them for Christmas, Easter, all the vacations. So this will be the first Easter that I'll be celebrating separately. So, so I miss mostly not places but people. So, how was the lifestyle? Honestly, I don't feel a huge difference in the lifestyle because we used to live in an apartment in a city in Kochi and we moved here. We live in an apartment in a city in Toronto, and basically it's pretty much the same lifestyle. So, considering the housing is expensive here, this is like our first rented home. Huge chunk of our household income is going to the rent. Ideally, your rent should be less than or around 30% of your uh, household income. Right now, it's much higher for us because I'm not working. Hopefully, when I get a job, I guess it will be okay. We don't have a car yet. My spouse works from home, so we use public transport for everything else, and um, it's an okay experience. We have to get our G1 soon. Why did we choose the city? It's mostly because we work in tech. For the first 10 days, we stayed in the outskirts of GTA. Once we started to view apartments, we had to travel all the way back to downtown, and it's really expensive. It adds up really quickly. It takes a lot of time and creates a lot of friction for going to networking events, meeting people. So yeah, it did not work for us, and we felt extremely out of place. I really like this place because it's not in the heart of downtown, but everything is accessible by public transport. Everything is nearby. That's mainly it. At this stage, networking is very important, and you get more exposure, and you save a lot of time if you stay in the state. And so the food. So when it comes to food, we eat pretty much anything. We don't. I am allergic to gluten. I have a gluten allergy. Other than that, we don't have any dietary restrictions, and we cook most of our meals. We on a day-to-day basis, we go for like simple, healthy, home-cooked meals. And I feel like here we have a lot more options when it comes to gluten-free food. In restaurants, in supermarkets, it's much easier to live a gluten-free life. So food is sorted. We do order like via Uber Eats like once in a week, mostly on Saturdays or Sundays. And there are a lot of options for restaurants as well. This is a very diverse place, and you get to enjoy a lot of different kinds of cuisines: Asian, African, Arab, Greek, so many different types of cuisine. Winter. So we came here in the middle of November. In like 10 days, winter was here. Do I feel winter is okay? It's probably because of the location we chose. Winter hasn't been a big issue for us. It's probably because of the ability to work from home. Here we have a lot of grocery stores very near to us. In 2-3 minutes walk. Here the snow is removed, so doesn't affect you that much. You don't have to deal with snow, but obviously if you want a house, you have to, it gets in the way. I get that. What about the cloudy environment? I think I'm used to it. It feels like a monsoon in Western Ghats, like Idiki or which is a little bit more sunnier after the rain. The sun does shine, but in Idiki, if you have lived in Munnar or in the hill station, monsoon is so dark. It's much darker than this. It's super windy, and winter doesn't feel that intense, to be honest. It's a little bit more brighter. I don't know if you can relate to this. We have been taking vitamin D since I was in India because I was deficient. If you have a very indoorsy job and if you are an indoorsy person, it doesn't really matter where you live. You might be deficient in vitamin D. That was my case. I think it started during high school, because that's when I noticed that my immune system is a little bit down. It took years for me to get diagnosis. So do check your blood on a regular basis, no matter where you live. If you have a job or a lifestyle that doesn't require you to get out a lot, you might be deficient in vitamin D, and it will cause havoc on your system, because vitamin D is very crucial for your immune system and the rest of your functioning of your body. Especially if you are a person of color, it will take, you need more exposure to get the same amount of vitamin D. So next thing, skincare. So I had bought a lot of skincare that I was using back in India. I didn't have anyone to give it to, so I brought them here. Most of them, some of them worked, some of them didn't. Winters in Canada is so dry. The air is so dry. So if you're a person with dry skin like me, you'll feel it when you land here. So as soon as you can get a humidifier, I got a warmest humidifier from Honeywell. It made a big difference. Do clean your humidifier if you use one. It took some time for my skin to adjust to the weather. It did break out. So I had a few lotions and stuff that I was already using, body wash, body lotion. I had to replace them because it was not working for my skin, and I have really extremely dry skin. The lip balms that work here are Laneige works, Aquaphor works, that works here, Cosrx works. Then for body lotion and stuff, I got Aveeno. Now I learned how to manage it and it's okay. Hair also gets really dry, wavy hair. It's manageable. Like I can keep it wavy with like a curly hair routine. It won't form defined curls, but it'll keep the waves. Or I can just, I have a Philips heated brush, and it works here because I've seen people saying that heat tools won't work here, but if they work on universal voltage, so in India we have 230 volt, here it's 110. So if your device has a range where it works, most of Philips devices will work here. So my heated brush is still working here, so I use that. If my hair feels a lot frizzy, I use that. And for shampoo and conditioner, I still use an Indian version, like the L'Oreal Hyaluronic Moisturizing Set with a cream, a conditioner, and a shampoo, the purple one. It works for me here. What else is there regarding the move? Okay, a few things I did before moving here is like I exchanged all the gold jewelry that I was not using, and I got the lightweight jewelry, 14 karat jewelry from Canadaian. But the thing is, if you're someone who likes to invest in gold jewelry, which is already a bad idea, but if you do that, don't buy lightweight jewelry. You'll be, when you exchange your lightweight jewelry, you'll be losing a lot of money essentially, because they have extremely high making charges. But the thing is, I don't use any other jewelry. I just like to, I don't own a lot of jewelry. I don't like chunky jewelry. On a daily basis, I like to wear very extremely lightweight jewelry or no jewelry at all. So I did that. If you have a question, feel free to comment. We'll be doing episode 2 when I have a little bit of progress in job hunting. I will definitely update you on the job searching experience. That's all for today's video. Thank you for watching a lot. If you like the video, do comment your thoughts, subscribe to the channel, and I think more than 80% of my viewers are not my subscribers. If you like the content, please do subscribe. That's all for today's video. See you in the next video.